Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started a little early here. Let's kind of jump into everything. Just to kind of recap the market for those that will want to watch this that don't subscribe, they can see this. We're still forecasting more downside that these lows will break. The path to get there, though, could be quite erratic and quite complex. I'm just showing you like one of the views here. And it can actually evolve into multiple connectors shapes, and patterns. The X could come back up, so very tough to trade, buy and hold. You have to kind of get in and out of the market on both sides in this middle area, but at some point it should resolve lower. Then the Japanese yen has kind of been driving the downside of this market. It still shows maybe more upside is needed here, which could pump the markets a little further higher. So just be careful. It doesn't have to. It can always truncate. But if we do push higher, the market's likely to go higher, right? But at some point, this ticking time bomb will go off in this wave three of three down. We think it will end up at 132.31, but who knows? But eventually, this pattern, this left head, right shoulder pattern, will break violently lower, and that will be massive volatility and downside in the market. It's coming. It's just a matter of when, not if. So enjoy these little rallies. This rally was forecasted to happen. My weekend update, I kind of gave this pattern, and I said, hey, if we're going to get this relief rally in two to correct this whole cycle here, we would get a massive pump in the market. And also we saw the index on my weekend update mention here that we had a pattern that could have shown 5 down, which could also retrace all the way back up, and as long as we didn't break this high, still be bearish, right? Even though it would be very euphoric, and we didn't know any of the news or the waffling or cave-in, whatever you want to call it, was going to happen. We just kind of looked at this. So now looking ahead, we could actually see something really nasty on the horizon. So just like we anticipated some euphoric, like something euphoric was about to happen, something just the opposite reaction will happen. Some other news will emerge, maybe tonight, tomorrow, that will generate the opposite reaction that should take us to break these lows. So I'm not sure what it could be. You can speculate all you want. Now if the yen does pump, we could still be in this wave two, pump back up, try to take out the intraday highs today. We may not be able to do that. If we do that, then we could see another connector and possibly one last push higher in X up here. This would actually become a higher degree connector, and that will actually give us much more downside than we're forecasting here. So again, if we want to pump the markets, if the Central Bank of Japan wants to pump and they want to continue with a lot of happy talk and trap more retail buyers and trap more money from the sidelines, all that does is kick the can down the road and make the bear market worse later. We go lower later. It takes longer to bottom later, but hey, in the short term, we feel great. It's a short-term high that we get, and that's perfect. So we can't anticipate that, but if they do that, it's just going to mean the bear market connector will be here, not here, and that will extend us down into the 28,000 area, and that would be pretty bad. But we'll see what they do. If they do this, we could just make a marginal new low in these fifth waves that I have here. Just one little low, and then we could really rip higher. Again, if they want to pump this back up to 490 here, they're going to just make a whole new connector, and then we'll be talking 280, 260. So again, this depends on what they want to do, what the market makers, how much more money they want to get trapped here, because those are the people that will create the volume that will push these lower prices. So if they really want to push this higher, they'll just trap more people later. And so we don't know that, but the Japanese yen does show that the market still could be at risk for more upside, even though I'm showing this chart, unless we've truncated. The oil market has also looked like it could show that it may have peaked. Again, now if oil can continue higher, then the market could be supported. But when oil makes this next move lower, this should bring us below $50 a barrel. That's got to be risk off across the world markets. Okay, so just understand where we are. Okay, what's happening here. This is a trader's. This has been trader's paradise, not buy and hold. It's not been a good buy and hold area. Okay, so good. Let's go to your questions. I'm not sure how many questions I'll get because, again, as we're jammed up in the middle, there's just not a lot of opportunity and there's not a lot of questions that people have because everyone's stock is jammed up and there's really nothing to do until we get a move, right? Until we move and get something to actually analyze. But, so I'm not expecting a lot of people tonight to join, but I just want to make this available. So Costco, our chart on Costco looks like we're looking for one more high in the grand supercycle top. We did find sellers in this major top here in this pink box. We have pushed back. It looks like we are in a connector wave here. We have 3 waves down, and we could make one more high to about 1,000 here, 125, something like that. And then you should get that next leg lower that will take you to around the low 800 area. We should see that we could see chart support at 714, so somewhere around 800, 700, and then that would be the bottom here, and then we should make more high, new all-time highs, or even accelerate more. Now the thing is, we are in a new cycle higher in this connector. If we do make another high, there is a possibility that the 4 is already in. So that can happen, but I don't think it is. I think looking at this structure, this is kind of what I'm expecting. So I think Costco though is coming to an end of its grand super cycle, like the world markets. Look at this. Look how parabolic it looks, right? What's it going to do? Go that way, right? It's at the point where it can't really go up anymore and sustain this price action. Again, if you bought it down here, you gotta like, what should I be doing? Selling or buying more, right? At some point you have to say you won and the house lost. I always say, like, if you don't leave the casino with your winnings, the house will take it back. Because when this bubble pops, I expect it to come all the way back down to 400, 354 at least, possibly lower. But it's not. I don't think it's in danger of that yet. I think it's got one more high here. Before it's got that major danger setup. Okay, good luck on Costco, but I do think it's in this connector. I don't think it's topped yet in the connector. If you get a big candle down, then you can call it done. So, but I think it could grind a little bit higher here. It looks like there's some kind of gap in this area. So, all right, EL. Estee Lauder is unfortunately, obviously this company's probably gonna have some tariff catastrophe. That's probably what this is. This is gonna emerge and come out in its earnings more than likely to have this chart play out. We're looking at 3, a connector, 3, and 5, and an AB, and then a C. Now C could have ended here, but we broke lower, so now you have a 1-2, 1-2 setup. So this thing can go pretty. This thing could go down. I'm just this is the short-term count I have right now on it. It looks like it has a 5 and then a pump a pump in 2. Maybe it takes you back up to 66 from 47, big pump, and then catastrophe. So I don't know why fundamentally that will happen. And it's got to be tariff related. I mean, it's got to be China. Maybe they get all their stuff from China and they're screwed. And investors just are too dumb to figure that. They haven't figured that out yet. But I would, I'm looking at the news. I'm not really sure. What's going to cause this situation, but it doesn't look good here. And I when you look at it, you just have too much divergence here at this bottom. You really need to erase that before you can even talk yourself into a low. So I think you just get your best bet is to just stay away from it and be patient. And at some point, it bottoms. But like I've said before, in the grand super cycle peak, companies can go bankrupt, go to zero. So if you're holding out hope, perhaps tariffs will be, maybe this is a casualty of tariffs that we don't know about. They said there's many companies that won't survive these high. Basically, there's an embargo on China, guys. If you're not following that news and you don't understand, there's basically no trade happening now. And so depending on how they manage their supply chains and capital and what you don't know what the impact is. I'm just forecasting the weather. I'm very bearish on this. Looking at this chart, I wouldn't go near it. Maybe it'll recover one day. Maybe it can recover. But I mean, look, it's gone essentially straight down from 357. I mean, this is horrible. I mean, this is as bad as it gets for a big company. It's as bad as it gets. Okay, so again, not sure, but that is what it is. I wish I had better news there. All right, American Dream in the Philippines. That's cool if you're calling out from there. Let me go through yours. LCID, Lucid. Again, oil. This is an EV, right? If I remember right, yeah, EV. Okay, oil going to 40 or about dollars a barrel is horrible for these companies. So I think you probably put the X here. Actually, it's probably a triangle. It's probably a triangle X. Looking at it a second time, it's probably some kind of triangle X that's about to end, and then you have one more leg down. Most of the green stocks, TAN, solar, First Solar, show one more swing lower. So that's probably what this is. Oil shows one more swing lower, and then oil should start to potentially moon. Maybe that's a sign that war is coming in the Middle East soon to a theater near you. And then, of course, all the EV stocks, people will be begging for EV stocks. They won't be able to have enough of them get imported into the U.S. anymore. I mean, this is the future chart. But it's got to survive this and not go bankrupt. I think it's a triangle here, but maybe look, see how that subdivides into 5 waves. You can't really do that. So maybe it's not a triangle. Maybe we have to put the X here. So if we put the X there, then we're looking at Y. And again, I'm just going to be generous. I'm just going to be generous with this count. And it does something like that. And again, we have to erase all the divergence on the higher time frames. And boy, do you have a lot to have to erase. All that will have to drop. So very bearish. I would be looking to short this in 3 waves. But right now, I don't see a short setup. I think this is what I'd go with right now. I would go with something like this, and then lower, and it could be this, right? And then it could come back up again, and then go down. So it could do a lot of things, a lot of pattern. I think it's best to leave it unlabeled and just let this play out. So I appreciate that super chat, and then Mobileye. Mobileye, again, let me just see the sector it trades in. Okay, it's like it's like technology. So looks like we've had some kind of low here. Now, if you look, we had that reaction. So the way when we give these boxes, the boxes give the reaction, but there's no guarantee of new highs. So you see how it failed. So we're still stuck in this wave 2. Now we have to just kind of go back to the drawing board and just look. So that's still in 3. So it's just turning into a bigger flat. It's got to hold 1037. It may, and I think it looks like it just turned on earnings, right? Looks like earnings is tomorrow. Oh, look at that. So 11. I wouldn't want to be short this in the earnings, that's for sure. 1161 looks like it's already turned or about to. So the daily cycle, earnings may be what it needs to break the daily cycle. Let's look at the weekly cycle. That's the most important. The weekly cycle is turning up and turning up. And in fact, I think just like I saw today, yep, it broke. See, the weekly cycle broke. So, I mean, I don't like to trade earnings, you know what I mean? I don't like to trade earnings, but this could be one of those, hey, I want to buy some calls. I have some, mad money or YOLO money. What the hell? Let's buy some calls. This is the type of chart you do that with, right? Everyone for some reason wants to buy calls on Nvidia, Netflix. No, you buy a chart that looks like this with the weekly breakout. You buy calls on this. And it looks like it's already started. The breakouts have already emerged. Maybe insiders have already know. Unfortunately, it's a small company. Maybe its earnings already leaked. And of course, you don't know about it. So I think this is probably done here. Ready for move higher. I guess we'll know tomorrow. We can come back tomorrow. I'll check it out to see how it works out tomorrow. See what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I mean it looks complete to me in terms of the swings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I could talk myself into it. Okay. So good luck on that. So I would say but the key level's 1029 here, where the bull setup is lost. And then essentially it's a go to zero. So it's a do or die. It's a bit. I don't know if the CEO realized how important that earnings report is for his stock. It's do or die. So I think that's it. But I have a feeling you're going to get a breakout tomorrow. I just have this feeling you can get a breakout of this. It looks like a wedge here, some kind of wedge, maybe. So there you go. Good luck on that. All right, good luck on that. TSN. Tyson Foods. I remember when that got obliterated. Tyson Foods. Looks like you've got like a 1, 2. They're trying to come off this low. So I've had this chart. Let me go back and zoom out on this chart again. All right, so this has been my chart. We have it as a grand supercycle top. We have a connector wave that's, could it have ended here? Could it keep going? It can keep going if it wants to. I mean, yeah, it probably needs more upside because typically you'll have some divergence on this C. So I bet it keeps just kind of grinding higher into connector wave. Maybe it does something like this. So I'll look for something like that. Looks like so this one looks like it's about to have a breakout. Did it have earnings already, or is it coming up? Not for a while. All right, so I would be looking for something like this, and then another swing down at least. Okay, good luck on that. Let's go to the next ones again. PLL. So lithium is just not. The EV stuff's just really having a hard time. So as you know, we have 5 down from this peak, and then we broke that low. So it creates a whole new sequence lower because this bounce corrected the whole cycle, this whole cycle. So you have a whole new cycle down that you have to deal with. So that's why it's not something I would want to mess with. But it's going to take time for this sector to emerge again, to reemerge in the next bull market. So I would be looking for another 5 waves down from this peak. It looks like you've got the first wave is done. Looks like you have one, 2, maybe you have 3, 4 here, but it looks something like this to me. And then you'll have a big bounce, and then the big drop. So maybe something like that. And again, you're looking for the divergence to be erased. This peak will have to get taken out. And same thing with the monthly. So I would, again, I don't think it's, I think this shorter time frame, you're still in the impulse lower, it looks like to me. Maybe put that, yeah, put that here, that here. I mean, I could label this here, looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I probably should put that here and put that 1 here. And we're in 2. So it's like rallying with the oil energy sector, and it should, yeah, see, that's 2. So we're in 2. So at some point this will give a, you know, it should break down. And then you'll get the 3, 4, 5, and then maybe it's a buy again. MOD. Let's take a look at this. So we're stuck in this 4 wave. Looks like you're in a flat that may be over soon. It looks like it's coming close to an end here. When I just take a quick glance at it, right? It looks close to the end. Let's see here. You know, maybe that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd have to label it that way. 3, 4, and now you're in this 5th wave. So you're looking for the cycle to end. So it hasn't yet. You see how this cycle is still jammed up here? But once it breaks out on the daily, then the low's in. So you see you're jammed up here. You'll break out one way or the other, and when it does, then the 5 is finished. But the 5, as you know, could keep extending. So you just don't know. You don't really have any chart support here until you get down even lower. So that's why you don't want to catch a falling knife either, because this 5 can easily extend lower and do something like this. So I don't know where it's going to go, but I believe it's in the final leg lower, and you should get one more high at least. Looking at this pattern, all right. But it doesn't appear that it's finished quite yet to me. So I'd be careful in here. I wouldn't put 5 here. Now if you break out on the daily, then 5 is in. All right, BULL. This was some IPO I remember merged. Don't have a lot of data to really analyze this properly, but we can try our best. So you can see the impulse off the bottom there. So so that's good. So that usually implies you'll get one more high at least in this stock whenever this is finished. This looks like an impulse down as well, but you see that big reaction. So that's a connector. So it's probably in some kind of 3-wave move down. So we'll do something like this. And it needs 3, one more low, and Y. So Y needs one more low, but that has to be done in 3. This looks like 5 down here. So it looks like you're missing one more swing in this leg. And then that should do it. But I don't know. B could still go back up. You know, B could go back up to 22. I mean, it could. So, but it does look like you need one more leg lower, and then the correction could end as long as, you know, and then you'll get another one of these situations. You should, because you should get at least an A, you know, B, C, something like that should happen. But the question is, you just don't know when this B is going to end. This B can go on forever, for you know, theoretically years even. We just don't know. But I believe the first big leg is here. And so you just don't have enough data, but you definitely need to erase that divergence on the 45-minute. That has to get erased and go. You have to erase that. So it's not ready to buy yet. There's no. I would not buy the dip on this yet. All right, MSOS. So that sector seemed to have tried to turn higher. At least CGC is. So I imagine this has done the same thing. I would assume it's finally maybe found the bottom finally. Like I said, the sector was basically it's saying that every stock in the sector was about to go bankrupt. I mean, that's what it was essentially being priced for. And then maybe the backpedaling on the tariffs or whatever, investors reemerged to come back. So we need one more high here. Until you get that, it's only 3 up, which also means it can go even lower. So you got to get this 5th wave. Now, CGC already shows 5 waves. So you would think that this would follow suit, but this is lagging for some reason. So, but we don't have that. We don't have it yet. Let's look at let's look. We probably should have zoomed in already here and took a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you put your 3 there, and now you're in 4. Maybe 4 ended here. Maybe it goes down again. So I think you need one more high to confirm this bottom. If not, it could be just another corrective move and it goes even lower. So I don't know. We're in the middle area, so we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. But we could also still be in 4 potentially as well. So it's tough. You don't have a clear setup here. But CGC does give you hope that this could extend higher at least. Okay. All right, Toronto Exchange, let's go to that. AAV. So we still have this buy area here. Looks like you got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, now 3, but you see this little extra bounce. Let's take a look. You don't really get a big bounce like that within the waves. They don't really subdivide that way. So what that makes me think is we're not in the last leg lower yet. We could still be in the connector. Let's just take another step back and look. Yeah, see how it's jammed up in the middle area? Again, big move is coming. One side's about to get blown up when this finishes. One side's about to get blown up. I can't rule out it goes higher. I can't rule out that it's already finished. But we only have 3 up here. Right? You only have 3 up. But by the looks of it, I think you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think the best way to label this is something like this. That accounts for this spike higher. So that's the clue. So I think this was a flat here that played out. And let me look at that. See it doesn't really subdivide the way you would want either. So I don't know. This is a tough one. Because it's only 3 down. Well, it looks like we have 5 up here too. So with 3 down, yeah, maybe what we'll do is we'll still say we're in the connector. So I think we'll just say we're in the connector for now. We're still in the connector. And it does something like this. It's going to do something like that. Right? It's going to do something like this. So I'm going to try to draw this out the best way I can. So that's what I think it's going to happen. So it can actually break these highs. It could easily do this. Because there's only 3 waves here, I think you're in danger of this flat playing out. And then rug pull. All right, something like that. And that box wouldn't be valid in that situation. It would be a different. You would have to, assuming it got up here you would be at lower levels. You would have to buy it down here. So that's what's in play right now. So I would expect more upside. But I think there's a rug pull coming. A rug pull's coming on this. All right, TOU. And that's what the market's in these connectors, guys. It's trapping a lot of investors right now. This looks like you had your triangle finished, and that 5 could be done right there. There's no reason. So there's no way to know if it's going to extend or not. If it's oil, it's likely peaked because we're forecasting oil to go much lower. So I have a feeling it's already peaked and it's starting its decline. It may not go down that far. It may only go down to this 44 area. But if the oil sector is about to have a rug pull, this is a connector. So this connector is going to end, and you'll get another leg lower. Let's just say if it ended tonight. If oil collapsed tonight, you're looking right at 47, just like I said. So so this is probably the worst case. And then if it keeps pumping, you just lift your target up. Maybe it fills this gap even, right? It could pump and fill that gap, and then it targets 52. So you see what you're going to have to do. To me, this is just a connector. This is a sucker's rally. This is a sucker's rally. It's trapping people. You're just going to have to ignore that rally and then wait patiently for 2. Or oil has to break out, but oil's what happened to oil today was very bearish, so I don't think you're going to get any breakout in the oil sector. I don't think that's coming. The economy's slowing down, guys, and there's a big empty hole in shipping that has developed that will eventually hit all the macroeconomic data, and then investors are going to panic. In fact, oil turned down when CNBC, literally moments after CNBC said something about shipments are down at the ports like 40% or some shit like that, and then literally that marked then oil dropped dramatically intraday. So again, are investors that naive and that data is available I saw that data on the weekend. That data, go Google it yourself. I mean, shipping and port data is drying up rapidly. And that means commerce is coming to a halt soon in a lot of sectors and a lot of ports, and trucks aren't going to have things to move around. And that means stuff's going to grind to a halt. That's why I call it COVID 2.0 is about to happen. But it just hasn't shown up in the data yet because everyone front-run purchases to get ahead of tariffs. So that's what's in the data now. That's in the data. But that is over. And then now you pre-bought all that inventory and all that inefficiently too, and that's all going to show up. And now you're not going to need all those orders that were brought in sooner. So TBZ is in a 3-wave buy area, but let's take a look at where we are in the big picture. If it's a bigger top, we won't want to buy it. It'll fail again. This was just a bounce, but we need to understand the bigger picture first. So looking at this, looks like you've got some kind of 5 waves up and 3 waves down here. Some kind of 1-2, right? You're coming out. You see how you peaked with essentially no divergence here. So this is just a corrective bounce off of this wave down. So it's by definition the middle area. I mean, this is what we call the middle area. So we don't know. Now, it should, given what it's done, it should make a 5th wave, right? And this is where it would do that. Now, to me, the energy sector, could it have a little bit more upside to get a 5th wave, and then it will collapse? Maybe not. I can't guarantee a 5th wave. We do have a cycle break though. Look on that weekly, a big break. So this cycle's over. So I don't know if you're going to get a 5th wave. So I would stay away from this chart because all you have here is 3 and 3, and that is a bearish pattern. That is not bullet. That's a bearish setup because then you could do something like this and actually break these lows. And you're like, how can that happen? Well, again, if you guys aren't subscribed to my basic group, we talk about oil and where it's going. Guys, oil is going down to this colored box. What does that say? $28 a barrel, $20 a barrel. What do you think this is? This isn't Putin giving us free oil out of the goodness of his heart. This is a recession, economic slowdown, and now we know why. And trade war. At the time, we didn't know why. We thought probably recession, but now it's like obvious why. And this is what's coming. This is a ticking time bomb, guys. This is going to tell you, just like every time oil collapses in its connector wave, this is a connector wave that went on for years, guys. This connector wave went on for years and years and years, and we got the capitulation in COVID. The markets crash. Oil, when it has a connector wave, it crashes. We have one of these waves coming. The market is going to sell off, guys. The market is going to sell off when this happens. And now we know why we don't want to be buying oil. Below this, see this structure? This structure is massive overhead supply. This is trapped money or real barrels of oil in storage somewhere that's trapped, that no one can use, that needs to get dumped on the market. I mean, this is people that load it up that they're going to dump it. And that's what happened today. Today, we tested that supply area, and man, we got rejected. Look at that. Bam. And if we can't make it back up here, I wanted to short it here, but if we can't, it's going down. It's going down. Right? And this is the warning sign for the rest of the markets, because this is telling me the markets are going to sell off. What happened when oil did this? The markets had a heart attack. Everything. So what do you think is going to happen when this happens? So just be careful, guys. And that's why, so when I go back and give that bearish forecast and I say, hey, it can go down that far, I'm not joking. I'm not playing around. Like, it can go down that far. Like, it can go back down there. I'm not just like perma-bearing it here. I'm just saying this chart can happen if oil does that, because it happened before. So I would just say stay away from this. I'd be very careful. If you can get a fifth wave, that's good. I don't know if you'll get it, but if you can, then you have an impulse, and then it will still pull back, but it won't be as bad. Hopefully, it'll maybe it'll pull back to like this cluster of support. Okay. Amazon is kind of stuck in the mud. Again, our pro group, we talk about Amazon a lot, and we're close here. We have Amazon at a major peak. Again, we called this peak a long time ago, and we had the first buy, by the way, when I started my channel in February. And here, which was unthinkable, right? When we were trading up here, this was unthinkable, but we got there. And then, of course, when we broke the low, we dumped that shit, and then it just kept going down, right? And guess what? It's just going to keep going down too. And in fact, it could have a dramatic sell-off at any moment. You would be careful. Now, if we do go higher, then you're still in this wave too. So just understand that, but. You could see 140, 150 is the best case. You could even see 125, somewhere in this area. That's the best case scenario for this stock. But bigger picture, and again, this is the perma-bear chart porn. This could all be a flat. This whole big structure can be a flat. I have this labeled as 5 waves. I never liked the look of this. I could make this 3 if I want to. I could make this like a W, X, Y or something. I can make this a 3-wave move, and then it's a flat, and we go back and break the 22 lows. But we're not there yet. That's a market collapse, right? You would stop out, obviously. We would cut through this with one big candle. If that happens, there'll be no bounce here. There'll be no resistance. It will just slice through it like butter, like a knife through butter, and we'll know. Then we'll know. So we don't know for sure. So assuming that doesn't happen, you have to buy it here, right? You have to pull the trigger here, because this could be a great opportunity to go long. But the alternative case is pretty bearish, because there's only one other scenario. If this can't hold, you're breaking this low, guys. It's just the way it is, and that means there's got to be a massive crisis that this tariffs did to this company that hasn't been revealed yet. It's starting to emerge a little bit, shipments are down. China's not able to get stuff from China. So I don't know, but I think this is what I'm thinking right now. This is what I'm thinking right here. So we just got to wait. We're just going to have to wait. Wait and play it out. See what happens. MSOS, I already talked about it. It hasn't bottomed yet until we get a fifth wave. So you're just going to have to, hope it makes it. If not, it's just going to take another leg lower. There's no way around it. But the stock like CGC says that it will break that high. MSOX is the same thing. As you can see, it's only 3 up here. You need another wave higher. So until you get that, it could still break down. It just is not able to make an impulse to confirm the low, right? We don't have that fifth wave, right? We just don't have that fifth wave. But like I said, CGC does, in my opinion. So perhaps, this will be okay after all. But I can't guarantee it. So right now, you don't have that. So again, it's just corrective. It's just corrective, which means you can come back down and break the low just like it's done here. 3 waves, correct. Like I can go on and on. 3 waves here. So here you go. 3 waves. So there's no guarantee. So I wouldn't, you're just going to have to do what's best for you on that. Indo, again, if energy is about to get obliterated, we don't want anything to do with Indo. It'll go down with the ship. So you're better off just getting rid of it because there's just no way it could survive an energy meltdown. There's just no way I can see it surviving. And it looks like it's about, once it breaks 208, it can be in a go to zero situation, right? This will be a big top, and then it will be a connect. This would be the connector, and then you would have some kind of 1 2 1 2 1 2, or you'll have a 3 of 3. It'll be a calamity. So I would be very careful to be in this. The bulls have to, if there's any hope for the bullish setup, it has to stay above 211. It just wasn't able to pull itself out. We tried to play the breakout because the alternative is what we're going through, right? We tried because we said when Indo broke out, we were like, we have to play this breakout because if oil, when we played the breakout in oil, guys, here, we said, or actually here, this box. So we had this box. This was our oil breakout. We were like, okay, oil has to break out here because if it doesn't break out here, it's going to collapse. And if it collapses, we're talking like we're showing here. So there's only two scenarios. So I didn't want to believe, I couldn't, at the time, we didn't really know about the tariffs and all this other stuff. So we just couldn't believe the world was going to be that effed up right now and administration be this effed up right now. We thought we'd get like stagflation maybe, but now we're getting something a lot different, right? So that didn't happen. So the energy trade, the perma bears were right on the energy side. And now today, intraday could have been the best opportunity to short energy that you may ever have unless we can get one more pump to 67. So we just don't know. If we can get this pump to 67, Indo should follow suit higher. But then I would, we get another swing up here. Probably get another swing up. So perhaps you get lucky if you can get one more swing up out of this thing, up to like 257, 265. But then after that, there's a lot of danger. So maybe you can get one more swing. It looks like you have 5 up here. So maybe you do get one more swing higher here. And then all hell breaks loose in the energy sector. Okay. FNGU. So China right now should be bullish short term, I think. We'll check it tonight. Long term bearish. As you can see here, you've got some kind of 5 waves down here. Looks like you're moving in 3s though. So a lot of these funds here, they'll move in 3 waves. So moving some kind of 3-wave move. So here that does not look complete. We're still in X. So that's probably your connector right here. Let me just look at it real quick. Let me look at the divergence. Yeah, you see there, that's the bottom. So this was just like a triple down. Well, let me go back. Yeah, there. See, that's why the X isn't finished yet. So I think short term it can go a little bit high. It can like whipsaw back up a little bit here, but I would expect it to resolve lower and break these lows. And we should see this 1599 hit is what we're looking for. So I've been looking for that, but in this short-term area, I wouldn't be surprised to see the whipsaw back up, which is kind of what I think is going to happen with China short, something like that, and then lower. Something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Let me see here. Why did I do... Hold on one second. Did that comment get deleted? I thought I was looking at FN. Okay, yeah, FNGU. Yeah, hopefully I did the right one for you. Let me just go back and just double check. Hopefully I did the right symbol. Yeah, I mean, that's what I typed in. If that's the wrong symbol, let me know. Then IBM... IBM, I heard got hit on earnings, right? Got beat up on earnings or something. Let's take a look. Yeah, we're looking for this wave 2 to end. Where are we on earnings? Where did it? I don't know where it ended up on earnings. Let me see if it says in the news. All right, so let's take a look here. So we looks like you've got, so what I am looking at, again, let's get rid of that real quick. So I was pretty bullish on it because the alternative was, if this is the higher degree wave 3 area, then this is a massive extended fifth wave. But I don't... You see how that's 3 and you see the 5? Let's look at the whole cycle. So we're pretty much supported still. I don't have the after hours data. We're going to have to look at this later with the data tomorrow. But I believe... This could be two possibilities here. It could be this, the most bearish, right? This would be a big extended fifth wave. This would drop us back down to 149, okay? And this would be another 1-2. That would break this cycle. So if we break this line, we have to go with that, or maybe actually we'll put the 3 here. Put the 3 there because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'd have to do that. So let's assume that's what happens. Then we'll come back here, do something like this, right? And then this is a connector. And then this area, that's your buy. Somewhere around there. So, and you could label that 3 and 4. So something like that. So I was looking at it more bullish, but the bullish setup's lost. Obviously, the world markets decided that wasn't the extension was not going to happen. So it did not extend. So we have a more conventional wave, as you want to call it, more conventional. So you'll get something like this. So it should it should break this high in the future still, but I don't know if it will accelerate more, but that's the new count based on the new data. I think what we had before was before we even saw the market top. There was an old chart, right? We were expecting more acceleration higher. We were expecting more acceleration higher, and we just didn't get it. We just didn't get it. The market peaked sooner than we expected. See here. That's why we could lose all this. So even here, it's possible it bounces and even goes lower, or it goes deeper. So very yeah, it's interesting. Let's look at the retrace on it. There's your 618. So yeah, so I'm thinking like around here. So there's your opportunity. There's your opportunity. So yeah, I think that's the chart. I think that's the chart. I think that's a good chart. We'll see. Maybe the opportunity will emerge tomorrow. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I did the wrong stock. You did the wrong TBZ in Canada. Last one was, oh, okay, my bad. We'll go back and do that. So TPZ and you want it in Toronto Exchange. This is it, yeah. Okay. All right, let's take a look. So we don't, right now you see just it's really just like a 3-wave move higher. Again, not a lot of chart data. You have this, a connector, triangle, and higher. So it looks like to me, you've got something like this, something like that. And now you're correcting this cycle in X, but you haven't even bounced yet. So you need a bounce and a low. You need a bounce. You need a connector for this move down. Now maybe you already have it here. It's a shallow connector. So I think that's your connector right there. So you could still be in B, but let's just assume B is over. You'll push down in C, and you'll go lower. So you could hit this area. So again, this is the most bearish path. Is it starts to break down right away from here, and you get something like this, and then X could be set there. But there's also a possibility you're still in the connector, and it does this type of thing, right? And the box moves up. So we don't know yet. I think there's no way to know. I think you just have to assume the worst. You just assume what's in front of you. You don't try to guess. You just don't try to guess it. You just try to you just label what you have in front of you. And I would just be waiting. I would just be on the sidelines here. But as you know, X can also take some time, right? Look, this took years. This X could take years. This could take years. So this could also bounce here. It could bounce and come back down over years. So it can do something like that too. But this is the area. If this plays out, you should get a reaction higher at least. And if you're lucky, Y. A leg like you've seen here or you saw here. All right. And let's take a look. Zillow. Let's take a look at Zillow. Haven't looked at that in a while. I know the housing stocks aren't doing that great. Let's take a look here. So Zillow, we had a nasty three-wave move off this low, and now we're coming off of the bottom. Divergence there, and monthly. So this looks like 5 off the bottom. All right, so it looks like 5 off the bottom. So then, with that being said, we have, let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Maybe some kind of run-in flat here. Something like that. Right. So I think it's got more downside here. It's got to stay above 28. I don't think it gets back down there. Looking at this pattern, looks like you have a connector wave right about here emerging. So this is a connector wave. This is very shallow. This is a very shallow connector wave. So this can easily bounce more, but it's likely to fail. So you're in some kind of connector wave, and then you do something like this. Now, if let's just say that's done, if that's finished, which is very bearish, that puts you back down to 35, basically a retest of the lows. So that's the worst case scenario. But I would expect a bigger bounce there, and in fact, it's a WXY pattern here. So yeah, I would expect a bigger bounce. Okay, just it's just too this is too bearish, I think. But I can't rule it out. You can't rule this out. Okay, could this be the low? I mean, it's technically possible, but we don't have confirmation yet because we need 5 off the bottom. So see how we bounced only in 3? Now, if you can make a bigger impulse, then you could talk yourself into this is the low and 2 is done. But I don't believe so. I believe it's a connector. Okay, so good luck on that. It kind of looks just like the XHB. Like when I look at this, the same kind of chart. All right. And yeah, I think this would have to be a run-in flat here of some kind. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the only pattern that works. 1, 2, 3. All right, good luck on that. So yeah, I bet this low holds. I bet this low holds. The only way it won't hold is if this was a massive connector from here, like this, right? But then to me that would be a go to zero, and Zillow's going out of business, guys. So either Zillow's going out of business and housing really is about to collapse like we've never seen before, then you go with this pattern. But if you don't believe that, then you go with this pattern. So I would go with this one. All right. So you have to decide how bearish you want to be. I wouldn't be that bearish unless it made more sense to me, because that doesn't make sense that it, but as you can see, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I mean, if you break that, I mean, there's no more room, right? If I'm just a chart pattern trader, that means it's going to zero, bankrupt. So lots at stake here for this company. So we'll just wait and see. But I think you can just assume that can't happen, or that's like more of an end of the world, like, because if housing's going to collapse like that, then we're talking like a depression, right? We're talking 20% more unemployment. I mean, to have housing, all the foreclosures that go with that, to have housing, have Zillow to be able to drop, or they just mismanage their own company somehow. But I think this is it. this is probably what we're going to see. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if X moves up a little bit higher. Okay. My post super chat from 4 p.m. today for this live stream didn't show up. I'm not sure if it didn't show up. I don't have it, so I don't know what you mean by it doesn't show up. So anyway, if you want me to do 3 symbols, it's $15. So I'll just, NVIDIA I've already done. It's going lower, but it's in an area right now. It's in resistance. I'll do STX for you. STX is Seagate. Seagate here. Let's take a look at it real quick. So that's good. That's a nice little impulse here. You're still in the grand super cycle so far. No grand super cycle ending yet, but you know, we have to be careful with this setup. Right. Let's take a look at where we are with it. It could be that. You see how we erase divergence there. So it's another 1-2 right there. And we'll just try to trace this out and just get an idea where we are. So it looks like to me you're missing one more high. You're missing one more high. That's what it looks like to me. So this also looks like an area where you could have found the low, if I'm looking at it. Yeah, I mean, let's take a look. Yeah, you're right in that area. So could have found the low here in this area for one more high. The weekly cycle is about to turn higher. See, the daily cycle is oversold. You see you bounce, you already have a connector. So this little thing is a connector for this wave. So if we don't hold 63, then it's going to take another swing lower. So you need to be careful. Like there's a lot of selling happening. So it could even see 30.21 potentially down here and come down. So I think it's you have to be very careful in this. And then there's a chance, perhaps, you know, the grand super cycle end it and we're off by a swing at the top here, right? I need to put the 3 here, the 4 here, and the 5 here. But this is very bearish, right? This is that would be unusual. But when you look at the RSI and how much it reacted, but the price barely moved, people are selling into it. They're getting out while they can. So I'll leave 2 boxes. As of now, there's no reason to think this low would break, but I can't rule it out. And if it does, then you're looking at probably that box. And this is only 3 up too. So you only have, this is a very dangerous area. Like, it was better to go long here. Like, I would be very careful buying this. Even though it does, you know, look somewhat okay, but knowing the market backdrop, I would feel better at night if I can make a 5th wave higher. Without that fifth wave, it's a guess. And if you guess wrong, you could get wiped out here. And I don't want to see that, because I can easily be off by a swing, and then you're at the end of the grand super cycle and you're coming down here. Okay. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, Unity. I haven't looked at that too much. You can look at that later. Yeah. Gauze, I've never heard of gauze. I don't have that off the top of my head. I'll just take a quick look at it. But I mean, there's not a lot of data here. You see you have 3 up, 3 down, and you have 5 down. So that's never a good sign. C, B, A. So A, B, C. Maybe it's this. No. C, B, A, A. It'd have to be that. It's probably that. But again, very little data to go off of. So it's it'd be yeah, very little data. I think something like that. I bet it goes higher. Okay, let's take a look here. Let your winners ride. ET. All right, I go back, Reed. I believe you. I had a couple guys do this before and they never did. So I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. I have time to do it. So Nvidia. Nvidia is Nvidia is, let me go to our pro group. So Nvidia right now has been pushing lower. Right now, again, we had these kind of sell areas for traders that worked out, and we're in this other one today. On my update today for the pro group, we gave this, and it is finding sellers here. If this is the case, we could be turning down in the next leg lower. We're looking for another leg down. And that should get us down to the 68 area. If this plays out, this is also why. So we need it in 3 waves. So you have an AB. It could be an ABC. It could be, this could be part of A. I haven't subdivided this Y yet because it's too early. So we just don't know, but I don't like to buy it. I believe this low will break, and when it does, we'll get really bad waterfall selling, real capitulation finally in this symbol to get us to a real bottom. And again, on our channel, we had the top at 150. I gave this on a live stream. I remember the guy. I think the guy was Donald who asked that. And then here we are, and we have pretty much not wavered, and everything has worked out. Now, what we could see in this count is this wave 2 double correct higher, like we saw in the market earlier. And so you could see another swing up. You can't rule that out, but I believe that will fail. So we'll know tomorrow which side is right on the market. But I believe this is the count. Again, how this subdivides, we need to let this play out, but it's hard to time because of the way it is. It's coming off this low. It's going to be tough to time it exactly. You'll have to use maybe some chart support, which you don't really actually have until this cluster. Like if you lose 75, that's what I'm saying. The next move down is going to create a lot of waterfall selling, right? It's going to really create the panic that we've been looking for. We're getting there. I would just let this play out and just be a little more patient here. All right, then. Let me go back to the next one here. I covered ET. Here, let me see here if I did that or not. I didn't do that. Okay, let's go back. Energy transfer. All right, so we're still in this 4 wave. There's your connector. So that would get us right where it hit. So yeah, that 4 is in. Right, look, it bounced. Nice reaction off the bottom. Should be making a 5th wave. This looks like 5 off the low. Let's see, guys. This is what you want to see off the low. You see how you see these 5 swings here, right? You can just kind of look at this and see. Now you're getting the pullback. So you want to buy this pullback. You want to buy this pullback. Maybe it pulls back to 15.99 and goes higher. So this one looks good. All right, CEG, here. Constellation Energy, like a utility play, I guess. Looks like we broke that low, so we negated the bullish setup. Or the connector was shallow and it's already finished. So let's take a look at which situation we're in. Yeah, see how we have a lot of divergence still. So it's a connector for the entire leg. So that's very bearish. So we're down in 5. So it just kind of morphed into a different corrective pattern. It looks like we're down in 5 here. And we're in a connector. That will do something like this. It's likely to go higher. And then you'll get another 5 down. Right? That'll probably take you to 132. So we're looking for another leg lower. Another leg lower. But this connector doesn't look, this looks incomplete, this connector. So I wouldn't be surprised if it pumps more. And then you get another leg lower later. And then there'll be another opportunity to buy it. In the connector, it looks like to me you broke that high. So yeah, I would expect SC to move higher. You probably could get it back up to 247, 261, somewhere in this area. So then let's just say that's where it gets rejected. We can just kind of just play around. If it gets rejected there, you know, that's pretty bearish, right? Because that brings you down to 63.92. So you probably are actually going to get even a bigger move, right? So good luck on that, but I think it's in the connector phase. It's probably going higher. Okay, LHX. Let's take a look. Grand Supercycle. There's your wave 3. And you have your wave 5. And it looks like you're about to end the Grand Supercycle. Right? It looks like it's about to end. But it hasn't yet. Let's look at the weekly. So my guess is it's probably ended the Grand Supercycle, and just investors haven't realized it's over yet. It looks like it's in a flat pattern that is about to have a big push lower. So this is a very dangerous stock to own right now. I would be careful owning it because it could be ready for its big move lower in wave 3 to the downside. I believe that's what's going to happen. I believe that's what's going to happen here. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That 2 can be in. Maybe it goes higher and you could have a great short opportunity. This could be a great short right here. If it can do this, this is like one of those trade desk shorts here. So like right in this box, if it can come back up here, and you can play that. So see what happens. See what happens if you can get that set up. Could be very lucrative on the short side. All right, let's go to KO. I think this sector has one more leg lower, at least. Where are we at here? So we made another high off of this peak. So yeah, negated the flat. So we are very bullish. Coke is very bullish, or we're still in wave 5. Let's take a look. Let's look at the bigger picture. Oh yeah, we're still in wave 5. As you can see, look at this extended fifth wave. So when this ends, it's going to end like with spectacular, very different than Pepsi, right? Very different than Pepsi. So the wave 5 just keeps extending. The wave 5 keeps extending. Any moment, the grand super cycle's coming to an end, I believe. Let's go to the quarterly chart. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. When that line breaks, you're going to get really nasty selling. Again, it's not perfect, but watch that quarterly. It's already turned down on the stochastic. It's already opened down, so it's already starting its turn, topping out. And then you look here. So this is way over-owned. Look at this. It has gone, it has not had a monthly cycle reset, a real reset, since 1975. It is way overdue, guys. This thing is a ticking time bomb to the downside. And there must be nobody that isn't long. I think every investor in the world must own this stock. Where would this go? It'd probably at least go back down to 24, at least, when it's all said and done. You'll lose this whole wave 5 here, at least this wave 5, but you might lose even this wave 5, this one. I know, I don't know why. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not predicting the end of the world. I'm just saying this chart is as bearish as it. I mean, this is the end. This is coming to the end. It's coming to the end. But I think everybody owns it, right? It seems to be invincible. But it's very parabolic. Look at all that bearish divergence since 1997, right? 2002. You never had look at this monthly cycle, guys. This is insane. This is insane. You've never had a reset. Like, it is way overbought. Way overbought. I mean, man. Doesn't look good. I'm not sure what's going to happen to Coca-Cola, but something bad's about to happen to investors. I don't know. Some massive calamity is about to happen to this stock. I believe crypto has one more low with the rest of the market, and then I think it's going to have a massive move higher. That's what I think. But what do I know? Yeah, I think from the RSI, I think what I'm predicting in the market is for the indexes is a fifth wave. Not a big crash, but a fifth wave. But there are some sectors that are not showing that are showing more substantial downside could happen. That would be in the consumer discretionary sector, energy sector specifically. So I wouldn't, not all sectors are created equal. So I would just say that, and also semiconductors. Those sectors could show much more downside than people realize yet. Now, it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to happen. We could still be in a connector wave. We could make that fifth wave on the indices and really pump which is what I think we'll do. But I think there's some sectors that don't show that. So yeah, there is mixed messages, right? The perma-bear chart is not a joke anymore. Like, it's something you really need to think about. You really need to think about that. It's not a joke anymore, right? I have a fifth wave. One more low, just one more. Just break the low, that's it. But the perma-bear chart says, no, this will be a 3 of 3, and we're going down to 270. Now, I can't say, oh, that's the dumbest, they're stupid and idiots and what morons. I can't say that because I do see mixed messages in the market that could allow this to happen. Now, I do know everything's oversold, but everyone I've read says markets can crash from oversold levels. That means shit. When the markets have crashed, when the markets have been oversold. So that doesn't mean nothing from what I've been told. And again, maybe those guys have just been bullshitting me, but that's what I've heard. Now, the thing is, I'm not predicting that. I'm predicting a fifth wave. But you better understand the bear case on the Dow Jones too, how important this 38,000 level is in terms of the parabolic advance of the bubble itself. Because I think I've shown this before. The bubble. Hopefully, I still have it on here. I may have got rid of it. I had this drawn up earlier where you have the parabolic advance here, the parabolic curve, right? And I try to touch as many of the lines as possible. Let me see if I can do this properly here for you guys. I try to do this. Again, it won't be perfect, but you get the idea. I'm trying to draw it through this line right there, that line that marked the 22 lows. Again, it's not perfect because that's how parabolic we've been, but there you go. Look where we are. Look, the parabola is already broken, right? Every stock I track, when the parabola breaks like this, it's a collapse later, a collapse. Every chart that has a parabola like this that breaks, Caravana, Palantir, you name it. When the parabola breaks, yeah, it kind of hangs out. It's kind of like Wile E. Coyote running off the cliff and its feet are moving, and then it realizes there's nothing below it, and then it just freaking crashes. That's kind of where we could be. That's why the super bear, perma bear case isn't unreasonable, and that's why this 38,000 area is so freaking important for the structure of the market. Because when the parabola breaks, you typically correct 85 to 90% from the peak. No matter the stock, the symbol, the chart, whatever, that's how it is. So that's what's at stake. So that's the perma bear chart saying that. So you've got to be paying attention. Now, we have broken it before and they've saved it, or the parabola's extended, right? It extends outward, right? It just moves outward, right? It moves outward. So I'm just telling you guys, you got to be careful. You can't be too you got to manage your risk. It's dangerous time. We're living in dangerous times right now with the market, stock market, right? Dangerous times. But hey, it is what it is. Now, I don't predict this. I think we'll get, again, one more low. But like I said, the perma bears, they're not predicting, most people are like 460, but the perma bears, oh no, we're going to 340, right? Dow Jones, I'm thinking maybe we'll go to 36,000. Can we get back up to 38? No, they're saying, no, we're going to 28,000 or lower. So I'm just saying the perma bears have this as a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. I mean, they're ready to say there's a crash. Now, we've never seen a crash before. We have seen a flash crash in May. The market's flash crash, so that has been something. But I'm just telling you guys what's out there. And you can do with the information what you want to. All right. So let's just kind of go through your symbols. UVIX and Zimmer. Yeah, UVIX and Zim. So UVIX, that structure is really tricky right now. It's really tough. I would just trade the level. I'm going to draw my cursor around it. Basically, this general level is where you want to buy it. It's going to be tough to pinpoint its entry because the structure is in a complex structure here. I'm looking at this again. I was playing around with this chart. Right here, you have 3 waves down still from this peak, right? And you have 5 down, and you have like a flat, and then you have 3 up here. So maybe again, I'm just looking at this. We have something like, again, this is a tough structure right now because of what's happened here. But I'm going to go with this. And again, we had to buy here when vertical, had to buy here when vertical. And now we have this 3-wave move down. So now you got to label it maybe like that, right? You have to. So something like that, and then another, so that means this low at 47 is a hard low. Now, there's another chart. This is what the VIX, I've got the VIX in, is something a little different. Where if I remember what I had for the VIX, let me go back to the VIX here. Yeah, the VIX is like that. See, we didn't break this low. See, look at that divergence. This is hidden bullish divergence in the UVIX. You see how we held this low on April 9th? But the VIX broke that low. But the UVIX didn't. You see that? This is a ticking time bomb, guys. The UVIX is telling you. See, these are the other little anomalies that the people aren't picking up on in the market. You see, we haven't broke that 43. But the VIX has. But the UVIX hasn't. So people are actually worried about the future, right? The long VIX, the VIX future. So this is interesting to me. So I would just say we're gonna go with this label for now. But maybe the better way to time this is to just wait until the Japanese yen hits our, sells off here. Either gets to here, or we get a bigger reversal candle, or the VIX hits this box at 24, and maybe this pulls down to 43, breaks this low, and then it'll take on the pattern of the VIX. But whatever happens here, it's going higher because we made the higher high. You see that? Higher high, higher high. The VIX will be in the 80s, guys. The UVIX will definitely be in the triple digits. So it is what it is. But it's been a painful path to get there, and very erratic path too. So I don't know. I think you're just gonna have to just I don't see a setup. I think you're just gonna have to do what's best for you on it. I think somewhere in this area you just have to start to just kind of slowly dollar cost average and accumulate it in this area right around here. I'm circling, and not worry about your entry. Just buy some at 46, some more at maybe 40, even more at 34. You go, but at some point it will, boom, you'll get out of this, just like you saw here, right? Zim, let's take a look at that. That one had been giving us a lot of trouble. Yeah, see, we lost the bullish setup on that, but I mentioned it was probably going to go big double correction, and that's what it's doing now. Let's look at the count and the pattern here. Let's take a look at here. Let's clean this up so we can see it. Looks like you got 3. Have some divergence there. So it's like an impulse. See, that impulse is what kind of tripped us up, but then so that's a big connector and a running flat connector. So there's a very tricky structure here. And then it took another like lower in 2. This is some kind of A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we erased divergence, so it's extending lower. So it's going to go down even more. So it's probably doing, well, actually probably do like a WXY structure. That's your first W here. Although, see, that's your connector. So we don't have the connectors right there for now, unless it bounces more. And then this bounce is part of this leg. Something like that. So it could be this. Again, I wouldn't trade it right now. It could be that. The other count is it could push back up, and then the connector will morph. This will morph into a different structure, and then it would still just eventually end up going lower anyway. So I'm not sure. I'll just label it this way for now. But It doesn't look like it's complete yet to the downside. You got to take these peaks out, boom, and then it's over. So again, it's just in a connector. It could be a lot of things. I would just ignore it. I wouldn't want to trade it right now at this point. But good luck on that. Oh, is that right? Coke's using artificial dyes. Wonder if that's in their secret recipe. Wonder if that shit's in their recipe and that messes it all up. See? Yeah, Coca-Cola's, man, this almost looks like Apple's chart. Like, just pushed to the brink of bullishness. I mean, it's gone uncorrected so long that when it finally does correct, it's just going to be a catastrophe for investors. 380. Yeah, I don't know. 380. We'll see how this plays out. Kind of sucks. I started, really doing this when in the start of a big bear market potentially, but that's okay. It is what it is because it's easy to trade bull markets and buy the dips and everything. These is trading connector waves and stuff is pretty tricky, and requires patience and everything else. See first super chat up on top. I thought I did Costco. Earlier. You must have missed it. I definitely did Costco. But I'll go, since I have a second, I'll just rehash it. But you can rewatch my live stream. I covered that first thing. Costco is up here. We are looking for maybe a little more upside, then one more push down for wave 4, and then a wave 5, and that will be its grand super cycle peak right here. So we're looking for like 811, 760. But we could still see some more upside to 1,039, 1,024. But basically it's coming. It's good day. The best of its days is behind it. It's coming to the end of the line here. And then it will come all the way back to the 22 lows, which is down in this area, I think. Down at 440, somewhere down here. All right. Yeah, I did Costco, yeah. So I'm just kind of looking through the comments. So the bearish outlook is still valid no matter what happens in this connector wave, in my opinion, because of the Japanese yen. That's why I'm not like the yen is the ticking time bomb. So what could happen here is X extends, right? And we do something like this. And we come back up to 41.96, 41.926, right? And we have this like A, W, X, Y, and then it falls. That can happen. Why do I think this isn't done? Because of two things, couple things. Oil needs to go lower, and I'm correlating the market with oil. That usually, almost most of the time, if oil collapses, the markets collapse, and the Japanese yen, the carry trade blow up when this happens, this final move lower. So these things haven't happened. Now, if we were down here, and oil was breaking out and not breaking down, I would be much more bullish on the structure. I would even be calling the low end, probably be more aggressively. But because of those two things, and then when you look at the world markets, you have stock like the Nifty that made a lower low that should break down and go back. These world markets trade together typically. That's a ticking time bomb for the world markets. The Nikkei, the same thing. It needs another swing lower. It made a lower low from here to here. So the world markets aren't done going down. Bitcoin also made a lower low here and here. This will have to resolve itself. So no matter the euphoria in the connector wave, which is what we had the last couple days, the technical damage has been done and needs to be resolved. And that resolution will be another low. But the big problem is what I showed you before with the bubble and parabolas. And when bubbles burst, because of all the margin in the market, borrowing and everything else, it could actually create an avalanche that we can't anticipate, or we don't see as obvious yet, but it could, because that's what happens when parabolas break on price. They always do. And that's what the Dow Jones is warning you against, and every other stock that I can draw like that. So I'm just telling you, maybe that's why there's so much happy talk, because they know what's at stake. Because they know, not that they care about the parabola and wave fives and all that shit. They just know that the market maybe is that vulnerable. Maybe there's a structural imbalance, issue in the market that we don't know yet, but that manifests itself as the bubble bursting, and they're panicking. I mean, look at Trump had to cave. I mean, imagine the embarrassment of him doing that he was forced to do that. So they must have walked into his office and said, no, it's not just a little low. We may have a whole financial meltdown again, and you better change, or you're going to have the ATM stop working and all sorts of shit, just like they told Bush back in 2009 to get him to approve the bailouts back then. So I'm just telling you, something scared Trump in the last week or so, and I believe we're seeing this play out. But I believe the technical damage is done. We are going to make another low. The question is, can they save it? Can they save it through the carry trade? They're going to have to save it through this the Japanese yen, which is Aladdin. If they can buy this here and save it and print yen up the butt and pump this yen back up, the markets will pump, and we will have a low, and we'll make new all-time highs again. Once we make that fifth wave, we'll make all-time highs again in the Dow Jones, I think. This is wave four. So we don't know. Unfortunately, you can't be you gotta be careful catching a falling knife here. So be careful buying this. But the perma bear case has never been and more probable than it's been right now, than I've ever seen. It's always been a fringe thing that has always been called at every pullback. But right now they can go for the kill shot if they want to. The perma bears can go for the kill shot, and they can do it. So the question is, will they or not? Will it happen or will it not? I don't know. But good luck, guys. So when the yen's about to drop, when I say drop, I mean USD JPY, which is the yen strengthening. But yes, what I would say is what I look for is basically the chart. I look at the USD JPY, and we'll watch for a big reversal candle. Now, that could be it, but it's not big enough, right? To say that this too is in, you need a candle to come back down. Basically, what I like to see is, I always like to draw a trend line. And if I see this trend line get pierced, that usually means you're not going to get any. It usually means it's over. The two's in. But until then, it could still pump. So I would be looking for that type of price action, a big breakdown. That's what I'd be looking for. I'm not looking for news. I don't care about the news. I don't listen to all this happy talk and like, oh my God, tariffs are off. Let's go buy the market. I'm gonna go put 25,000 in on Apple today because Trump said he's gonna lower the tariffs. Cool. I'm calling my broker. I mean, am I that stupid? Are people really that stupid out there? I mean, is that the mentality of the retail trader these days? I mean, is that really what's happening with this market on these headlines? I don't think so. I think it's all like manipulative shit. I don't think the retail trader reads the headline and goes, oh yeah, let me buy 100 grand of Amazon. Trump caved. Like, I mean, really, if it's the case, this market is going to crash. But that money needs to get blown up. But I think they drop the news, the market makers allow the price to surge or surge it themselves, and then they do hope there's a few more dummies that will just buy at the top like they did today up here at our intraday reversal box. And I'm sure a few dummies went all in here and they got blown out. And that's all it's intended to do. But I believe whoever pushed this up was all artificial. I don't think real money. I think this was artificially and then they backed off and then they dumped it. And then whoever bought those little candles this morning, what was the dumb money or shorts that just they shorted wrong point. But But yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is some crazy stuff, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. I'm just reading the last few comments. Yeah, gold could continue. Don't try to short gold on a parabolic blow off top. That's all I'm going to say. The parabola can get, if you guys have traded Bitcoin and altcoins, you know what I'm talking about. Now, most retail, well, not most retail, but most traders, 401k traders, they don't know that shit. They just, I'm seeing too many people online thinking this is a slam dunk short on gold, guys. I just, no, that isn't. You watch, they're going to get their asses blown up. I mean, this is probably going higher. I just have a feeling. I just have this feeling. So just understand that the parabola can easily, again, we trade altcoins all the time, right? Wave fives can go freaking crazy high. I mean, who knows? Because what happens is people try to short the top and they get blown up and they try again and they try again and they just keep getting blown up and eventually they stop shorting it. But right now, there's people bragging about their short, like, oh, I got it in at 35,000. I'm so smart. I mean, I saw posts like that. I'm like, dude, it's only down like 3%. Are you crazy? I mean, if they're already spiking the football, I mean, then you watch. This thing, it's going. You watch. That's what I think is going to happen with gold. I would not be trying to get all cute with let's short in it because it's the sentiment is too, again, when one side of the market wants to make fun of the other side, then they usually get blown up. When I see that, that's a big signal. Like when I see in your face, Bitcoin is at, some dude posts like Bitcoin's at 93,000 in your face, MFs and this guy doesn't post and like, okay, that's the top. I'm like, I already know, short. I gotta go short. It's just like, it's like if you feel the need to do that, then you better like short your, you better do the opposite if you feel like you have to post something like that, guys. I don't like the REIT sector because it tends to go down with the Russell, and Russell's still going lower. I don't want to mess with that. The IYR, right? I think it's IYR. I still have downside on the IYR. Oh, did I get that wrong? Okay, good. Okay, I'm glad you cleared that up. So we'll look at it 3 times FANG stock. Yeah, I don't want to be in any of that, but we'll look at it. I still think the FANG has got more downside. I don't know why it's not showing up. FNGU. It's not showing up in TradingView, man, unless I'm typing it in wrong. Maybe it's gone, or I don't know. You can type in, if you find the symbol, I'll type it in and do it. But I don't see. Let me see. FNGD. Oh, FNGD. Okay. FNGD. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, let's look at this here. So this is the inverse. So that's good. That's what we want. So we had this 5th wave. It looks like obviously that 5th wave ended, right? What is all these lines? All right, so we're down. So I was just drawing it from here. We have the 5 down, right? And now we're correcting this cycle. We should come back up to 39.40, the wave 4. So we're probably here, something like that. So we should go higher in 4. It looks too shallow. Usually you'll come back up to at least the previous wave 4 high. So I'd be looking for one more move higher, right? And that's what we think most of the market's about to do, right? So something like that is what I would expect. It's not clear yet if you're done X, as we know, right? We don't know where this connector is going to go, right? But at some point you should get one more swing higher, because typically you'll retrace back up because you're correcting the whole thing all the way up from $717, which is a cycle from like 2022. So you're not going to correct that in like 2 weeks, right? Or whenever, like 2 months. Like it's going to take. You probably got one more swing higher, but then as you can see, there's still more downside, right? And then you have then you end in 3. Now this is where things get interesting, right? This is where things will get either this will be 3, which could create massive upside, or you get another 4 and a 5. So I don't know, but I think we'll just go with this for now. This chart for now. But played out perfect, right? We had this as 5, and then look at that. What do you know? But I think it needs one more swing higher. I can even put the W here maybe. Put the X there. Call it finished from that piece. Or maybe make that an A, B, C, and not a W, X, Y. So there's a lot of possibilities here. Maybe that's probably the best way to label it. I think that's what we'll do. We'll label it that way. Something like that. Okay. All right, looks like I got another super chat that came in. I'll just go ahead and do that real quick. I think you caught me. I was about to hang up here. Target. Target is one we've stayed away from. And it's been very bearish. As you know, we have 3. We tried to make an impulse, but we see how we've made a lower low. So we've negated this, and then what this is now a connector. This was a connector. And that's actually very detrimental to this chart, because now that that's a connector, it's going to take a whole nother leg lower. So you have 3, and you need one more swing down. You want to erase divergence, which you have. Let's take a look here. W, X, Y. Let's look at where the connector is. You don't have a connector for this leg yet, like you did here. So you're still in the first leg down, but it should be coming to an end soon. So I think you're due for a bounce, and then one more low. You're due for a bounce. You're going to get a bounce like that soon, at any moment, and then you should get one more low. Something like that is what I would be looking for. Prices could see 51, $22 when it's all said and done. Somewhere around there. Something like that. All right, Affirm. Let's take a look. So Affirm had this wave 4 buy that worked out, and then it ended 5 waves, and so now it's pulling back. Right, it's pulling back after 5 waves. Connector is, here's our connector. So it looks like it's made 5 down here. Some kind of ABC pattern. So it needs one more swing down. It should hold this low and be a good buy. Now, when does the B wave end? It could have ended now, honestly, but it may go a little bit higher. We can look at it real quick. Yeah, it can go higher. It can go to 53, 56. So it may not be done going higher, but at some point I would expect a reversal for a whole nother leg lower. And then you can project a new target just like by doing this, like I'm doing. Like it could see these lower levels retested potentially down in this area. But the higher it goes, the higher the target. But I expect this will take another swing down at some point. Yeah, I think that's the best way to label it. I think that I'll just leave it this way. I mean, I could try to put it as a WXY, but we'll just leave it alone. I think it's got another swing down. RCAT. Looks like we have the ABC, we have the big X. So we just need that one last push in Y. So as you can see, you have a move, a big bounce, and another low. So you need a bounce, and you need another low, and you just don't have that yet. So it looks like you're finishing up 5. You should get a bounce, right, and then another low, something like that. So more downside, I would just be patient and let this play out a little more, and then wave fear, been really beat up. I know a lot of technical damage done to the bull case by breaking this low. It really messed up the bull case. As you can see, we only had 3 up, and that was the warning sign, right? It was almost too bearish to think, but by breaking that low, you know, now we need to look at, as you can see, this connector here. The question is it a 4 or is it a new connector? I'm going to call it a 4. So I'm going to call this an impulse down. So we won't be too bearish on it. So we'll call this some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then we'll call this top a flat. So we have to let this 5 play out. And it probably, it could go down to 972. That's probably the worst case scenario. But you could try to track the waves yourself and see when you see 5 waves done, right? You can go down and try to do this yourself here, right? A, B, C. Look at all those 1, 2s, right? And that's what sets you up for that big push lower. So we got done the first set of 3s and 4s. So it's got some more downside, but you know, it'll end when people least expect it to, and they'll have a big move higher. But yeah, this is like I say, it could go down that low, but you know, if you look at it, I still think it's got more 3s and 4s to play out. You at least need a bigger pump, like something like that, and then another low. So you can wait for that, something like that. Okay. So I don't know anything about the nickel and copper royalties. I'm not really sure how to comment on that. And then Elliot Wade, serious question. The book states that smaller assets are not effective to count Elliott waves on thoughts. Suggests a smaller asset. I'm not sure when you talk about that. I know like book states smaller were not effective to count. Typically, the shorter time frames aren't very effective for counting Elliott waves, like the real smaller time frames, because there's just too many combinations. The higher time frames are a little more accurate, but I'm not sure about the size in terms of dollar value. I don't know if that has anything. I've never read that before. All right, guys, I got to go. Thanks again. Let's see what tomorrow brings, see if the bears can follow through, or we'll get that double correction higher. Right, we'll get this double correction higher. So I think tomorrow's a big day for the definition of the correction. So